things come to those who wait, and if you've been anxiously awaiting the Japanese hit RPG Rogue Galaxy to come to the US, you won't be disappointed. Level 5 has been putting the finishing touches on the American version, which includes some very cool surprises.
So the backstory of Rogue Galaxy is there is a war going on between these two factions, the Lungardians and the Draxilian armies. And this is over resources that are found throughout the galaxy, or the lack thereof.
However, these wars are not the main story. The game starts on a quiet desert planet named Rosa, on the outskirts of the galaxy. There we meet a young man named Jaster, who yearns for adventure.
The character that I play, his name is Jaster, and he starts out the game as very much the kid who wants to leave home.
Because Rosa is rich with natural resources, a group of pirates comes to the planet and mistakes Jaster for a bounty hunter. So after a strange turn of events, he's recruited and starts his adventures as a pirate.
Throughout the adventure, you travel from planet to planet, seeking a treasure of unimaginable value.
There are various planets, civilized ones and uncivilized ones. Ones with dense forests, or sparse deserts. Every time you play one of the many planets, I think you'll find new discoveries. The main theme is that the pirates are hunting an amazing treasure. Players are searching for the planet that holds this treasure. I can't say the name of this planet, but it's a beautiful place.
As you travel the galaxy on the Dorganark, a spacecraft modeled after a classic pirate ship, you recruit others to join the gang of pirates.
Throughout the journey, you can actually control any of 8 main characters that you have in your party, and you can switch in and out of them, except for Jaster, because he's intricate to the plot line, so you can't take him out of your party.
The heroine character is Kisara, who's the daughter of the pirate captain. She fights with a dagger and is an expert in the martial arts.
My favorite is actually Zegram, who is another hunter that was recruited onto the Dorganark. And he is actually one of the tough pirate types, and he doesn't take crap from anybody, and somebody that never loses his cool, but has like a nice sense of humor, kind of a cynical sense of humor with any situation. So my second favorite character is Lilica, who comes from a jungle planet, and she's one of those warrior princess types, sexy but tough. And she's played by a really great voice actress, so I think everybody will enjoy her.
Something is causing the problem in the village. If we can find the source, we can save the villagers.
Just like most Japanese imports, all of the voices needed to be re-recorded for the US version. And true to the high standards of the game, the development team did not skimp on talent.
What we tried to do was try to capture the essence of the character. What is Jaster like? What is Kisala like? What kind of teenagers would they be if they were American kids? That's why we have, Will Friedle, who captures the essence of the character. He captures its energy, his enthusiasm and his youthfulness.
You know what's funny? One of the things that actually really helps prepare for a character in a video game role is being a gamer. And I've been playing video games my whole life. Today, for instance, we were doing a scene where we had to do a lot of what actors call oofs and ughs, where you're getting hit or you're getting punched or, this type of thing. And it's just like an oof or an and there's really not much to play off of. But when somebody in the booth then says, this is a specialty move, as a gamer in your head, you're going, okay, this is hitting a whole bunch of buttons at one time to build up your power, and this is where the big move comes along. So having played video games for so long, it actually really helps in the process of recording them.
He's just got a nice instinct for, the situations, and he's able to play off of the little cues that we give him. When it comes to voice acting, you only get bits and pieces of the story. He does a really good job in terms of taking that information, processing it, and giving us the reads that we really want.
From firing weapons to dodging attacks, Rogue Galaxy features a unique real-time battle system that gives the player full control.
The battle system in this game is an action RPG, so you have control over one character at any time during the battle. And you also have two other characters in your party that fight alongside you, and you can actually give them commands throughout the battle by using the command system or the suggestion system. And what the suggestion system is, during the course of the battle, they'll actually offer you suggestions. Hey, Jaster, let me use this item. Let me use this special attack. And it's up to the player to allow them to do that or not. It's to kind of give that sense of camaraderie with your party. For the US version, there's actually a new combo system that's been implemented. In the Japanese version, there was a combo system that would appear randomly. But for the US version, they actually changed it up so it's not random. During the battle, the enemies drop these orbs on the ground, and you collect them and fill up your combo meter. And once it's full, you're able to execute your combo manually. So you have control over which character you want to use that combo on.
If an outrageously large, seamless universe wasn't enough, Level 5 included a bunch of mini-games to increase the replay value.
One of the major things is the Insectron tournament, and this is basically where you go around and you have these traps that you can actually put down on the ground with a bait. And as you're exploring the galaxy, you find a certain location that you can actually put the trap there, and you can actually capture these Insectors. And what these Insectors are these little creatures that you can actually then rear and raise and train to fight in this large tournament called Insectron Tournament. It's actually a really deep system, and the team put a lot of effort into making this really fun. I mean, I hope they don't get too sidetracked from the story, but it's actually really worth doing.
Given the incredible success of this game in Japan, and all the additions and improvements to the US version, ReActionExaminer is looking to become one of the best RPGs, and it's coming exclusively to the PlayStation 2. While previous installments of the legendary Shadow Hearts series have immersed its characters in Eastern and European environments, the upcoming third installment, Shadow Hearts from the New World, promises to take gamers and the RPG genre itself in an epic new direction.
Looking at the big picture, the main thing that is unique about Shadow Hearts and separates it from other RPGs is that the world and the settings that are seen in the series are based on real-world locations and history as opposed to a fantasy realm. But instead of being tied to those real events, we start twisting the world gradually by incorporating situations that were never possible historically. Thus, the story develops in a strange direction, which is unique to the Shadow Hearts world.
You're a cat!
What are you gawking at? What's so unusual about a talking cat these days, anyway?
Setting their sights on such American locales as Chicago, New York, and the Grand Canyon proved to be a unique departure for the game's designers, and a vivid arena from which to draw new characters.
Locations such as the Grand Canyon and parts of South America were good for dungeons, and so we thought that a setting from North and South America would be fun material to pick from.
I might be able to help you. Perhaps we can make a little deal. Ever heard of Al Capone? He's the man who runs this city.
We wanted the story of our new installment to take place during a period of recent history that was a turning point for the way people thought. So the backdrop of the Great Depression right after World War I was a natural choice.
Welcome to Garland's Detective Agency. I'm the boss, Johnny Garland.
ですね、今回そうですね、まず新主人公として
The main character, Johnny Garland, is a 16-year-old boy who is basically a private detective. One of the overall objectives of the game is to see the growth of Johnny. He is unreliable during the first half of the game and weak in battle. You're going to have to be patient and not take him out of your battle party. This maturation is something that you might not notice at the beginning, but it's something that we want the gamers to seek out when they play the game. Another main character is the Native American heroine named Shania. This is the first time in the series that a female character uses soul fusion. This time around, the female character will fuse with the spirits that protect her tribe, and by doing so, she gains the power to beat her enemies. She is a polar opposite of Johnny, as she is a woman of incomparable strength.
Seeking to improve traditional RPG gameplay, the unique Judgment Ring battle system has been tweaked to deliver a new experience by drawing on the strengths of those past.
We wanted to differentiate the battle in this series from other RPGs, and since you have to spend so much of the game in battles, we came up with this unique system that has a lot of tension. The way it works is that there is a gauge that fills up with every attack that you make or defend against during battle. Once the gauge fills up, you can get 1 stock point. You have a maximum of 2 stock points that you can save. With the first one, you can execute a combo or position turn called a double, in which you can execute 2 attacks at once. By using up 2 stock points, you can execute a double combo, in which you can execute both double and combo attacks simultaneously. But your enemies can also use doubles and combos. So the strategy has been improved, requiring players to use the stock system effectively, while preventing their enemies from doing the same.
Okay, folks, I strongly suggest you all stand back.
Looking to deliver the familiar feel fans have grown to love, the development team has incorporated Shadow Heart's hallmark humor throughout all aspects of the new game.
I think people who have played the previous Shadow Hearts would definitely expect the same sense of humor, and you can definitely see that in this latest installment.
That wouldn't be good. My image as a heroine would be ruined.
Heroine? Anyway.
With its eye-popping graphics, pulse-pounding action, and heart-thumping gameplay, Shadow Hearts from the New World is sure to be a worthy chapter in this epic series.
Looking for a little more action in your RPG? Then check out the latest offering from Namco, Tales of Legendia. This role-playing game infuses the famous Tales franchise with some high-powered 3D arcade action.
I've been making the Tales series as an RPG for the past 10 years, and Namco had been making fighting games. I was really excited to think about what kind of game we could make if we combined the know-how of creating the Tales series with the know-how of creating fighting games.
You'll recognize quite a bit from the previous Tales series, but there's plenty of new adventuring to be done aboard the Legacy.
The names of about half of the spells, techniques, monsters, and items are taken from the previous series. The world, characters, and history, however, are all completely new. Because RPG games are all about exploring the world, We thought the game wouldn't be fun if the world itself was not attractive. Tales of Legendia takes place on a giant ship called the Legacy. The two main characters, Sunel and Shirley, came to this ruined ship not because they wanted to, but because they were pulled in as they were sailing past it. As they explore the Legacy, they meet other characters that came here to accomplish their own objectives for various reasons.
And this story unfolds with a unique cast of dynamic characters thanks to one of Japan's leading animators.
We asked Kazuto Nakazawa to do the character designs this time around. As you can see from his recent animations, such as Kill Bill Volume 1, he can really make those characters move fluidly when he animates them.
Add in the latest in graphic techniques and motion capture, and you'll experience a complex yet simple look and feel.
People may think that the look of this game is fairly simple. This is a technique cultivated a long time ago in Japan. It is used primarily for theater plays. The movement of non-human characters like monsters were acted out by animators. This is how we created the animation of the dragon. Just like this.
We applied technologies called material mapping and color shadowing. Material mapping reflects the effects of surrounding lights onto the characters in real time. And color shadow allows an expression of color even within shadows.
To flesh out the story even more, music was specially composed for the game.
When I first saw this game, I felt a warm human quality in the graphics. So I tried to make my music more suitable by adding synthesizers to some songs, while having full orchestral songs as well.
But mostly this game is about adventuring and especially fighting. When the need to do battle with a massive monster arises, the Legendia's battle system delivers realistic fighting with real-time control.
Savage strike! There might be some American players that think the battle systems in RPGs are not very fun, but the linear motion battle system in the Tales series allows players to enjoy an RPG game as if they were playing an action game. So I really recommend this game to those who might not have enjoyed playing an RPG before.
It will be an exciting and epic experience when you hop on board and play Tales of Legendia.
これまでこの作品はワイルドアームズ1から3までのストーリーと
So far in this series, we have made 4 games, Wild Arms 1 through 3 and Alter Code F, which is a summary of Wild Arms 1, 2, and 3. Wild Arms 4 is a whole new world in terms of gameplay and look and feel. I think this game will be accepted as a completely new Wild Arms. The game's setting is still Falgaia, but it takes place in a post-war era. There are no troops roaming the country. The story starts from a time when everyone begins to wonder how they can revitalize a land ruined by war. Although the war is over, there is a military group called Brionac. They are trying to conquer the land. Each member of Brionac has a unique ability, such as the ability to control space and the ability to read minds, etc. In this game, all the main characters are boys and girls, but they are not the ones who fought in the war. It is actually quite a heavy theme of how those children who were born after the war ended will grow up. The main character is a boy named Jude. He was born after the war had ended. He grew up in a situation where he didn't know anything about the war or the outside world because he has grown up in a shelter. Later, during the process of the adventures, he learns that the outside world was completely destroyed by war. And throughout the game, we learn how he grows up, how he came to this adventure and more. He's a rather pure, honest, and straightforward boy. However, an incident reveals that Jude can use the forbidden weapon called arm, used as a weapon of mass destruction during the war. The heroine of the story is called Yuli, and she doesn't know anything about the war either. She is a girl who has been isolated by adults who have repeated various experiments with bioweapons during the wartime. These are bad adults who rule the post-war world. These adults are using her as a bioweapon, even though the war is supposed to be over. Jude joins Yuli and fights to protect her.
I still won't give up.
Then there's an outlaw traveler just like in every Wild Arms game. This time he's a young man called Arnaud. There's also a king's swordswoman named Raquel. They join the company, and the adventures of these four characters make up the story in this game. When entering the fighting mode, 7 hexes are displayed on the screen, and the fighting begins with main characters and enemy characters being arranged randomly within those hexes. While conventional strategy RPGs use squares and hexes that can only hold 1 character each, we have completely eliminated the limitation. We created a unique ability which allows players to either move multiple characters into a single hex or keep them separate. The more characters they place in 1 hex, the more attacks they can provide at once, just like in a combination attack. Also, they can recover all of their characters at the same time, since the magic is cast on the entire hex unit. On the other hand, there's an advantage to keeping your characters separate because it makes it harder for enemies to attack them. So whether players decide to position characters together or separately becomes critical. Throughout the series, there has been a factor of solving puzzles by using items called goods. In this game, goods are not bound to a specific character. For example, if there is a sword placed in the level, players can use it to destroy obstacles by swinging the sword. Or by throwing it, players can turn on switches located out of reach.
これは従来のシリーズ通りですね、カスタマイズして、
There's also a piece of equipment known as a badge that will modify the percentage increase of the hit points, or how much the power of attacks will go up, or the structure of how a certain special attack gets enforced. These badges can change the character's stats based on the user's preferences.
ことによって、アビリティが、使えるようになっています。一つのグッズでアイテムに対してもいろいろなその使い方がある。
Each of the goods have various uses, so there's a factor in which players have to think about how to clear obstacles.
あとはそのさっき言ったジャンプで段差。
Do they use a good, or do they use jump mode to jump over a collapsing bridge? Such features are closer to an action game than to an RPG, and I think that part is a major difference from previous games in the series. Also, the main character has an ability called Accelerator, which he can use to make his surrounding time slower. By using this ability, he can run across a collapsing bridge while slowing down the destruction of the bridge beneath his feet.
足場もRPG というよりも僕たちの中ではアクションゲームにかなり近いと思ってるので、
So this game has evolved beyond an RPG game to a point where it can be compared to other action games.
いいぐらいに、進化していると思います。
Subscribe.